Right now, the bad take of the day is that ARC reviewers who don't get around to reading books are somehow stealing. So this is a topic I've wanted to cover for a long time, but it took some Twitter drama for me to finally get it on the channel. On the surface, this is just book Twitter tea, but in reality, this points out to a larger problem with BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram, and really any platform where people consume media about books that isn't them actually reading. And that point is that reviewers are basically expected to work for free for wages that are way below the US minimum wage, and for some reason, we're supposed to be grateful for the opportunity to do it, and that's just wrong. So this tweet on the screen is taking book Twitter by storm right now. The poster says that accepting an ARC and not leaving a review is theft. Maybe not legally, but certainly ethically. I'm also going to look at this through the lens of a booktuber, since BookTube is a platform that I know best. I know a lot of people on book platforms like to joke about being really bad at math, but on what planet is $15 for usually a digital piece of media worth 10 to 15 hours of your life to read, think about thoughtfully, and then write a review about? Reviewers put a lot of time and effort into making people want to buy your books, but publishers, and by extension the indie community as well, have figured out that some people will work for free just to get a book a little bit earlier than the release date and to feel like they're being part of the group in the publishing world. This reminds me so much of the opening scene from Tom Sawyer, where Tom basically doesn't want to do his chores, so he convinces the kids in his town that painting the fence is fun and that they should pay him a nickel for the privilege of doing his chores for him. Publishers put most of their ad money towards the Brandon Sandersons or the Sarah J. Maas's of the world and leave everyone else to fend for themselves. Indie authors doing everything on their own are often overwhelmed by how much it costs to pay editors and cover artists who are actually good at their jobs to help work on their project. And then they rely on the nice people they met on writers' lifts, i.e. fake and superficial engagement on Twitter, and ARC readers to get the word out about their latest book. I can do a video roasting really bad cover art if y'all want to, just tell me in the comments down below. There's a lot of it, especially in urban fantasy. Authors in both groups are left with enough work for an entire team of people to do it in order to get their book out there to readers who might actually care about their stories. ARCs, advanced reader copies, are given to reviewers in hopes that the reviewers are going to be a part of this. There are some ways that reviewers can get compensated for their time and efforts without it costing the author anything, like affiliate marketing, where if somebody clicks on your link and buys something, you get a small commission from that. Usually the commission on books is less than 5%, which means that you'd have to get about 20 people at a minimum to buy a book before you were able to earn enough money for you to go out and buy the book yourself. If a reviewer has a large enough audience, then they might be able to make this work. But if they have a large audience, then they probably understand that people aren't going to watch their video in the first place if they aren't interested in the topic, i.e. the author and or their work, in the first place, and will likely reject most offers to collaborate. Daniel Green actually did a video on this a while back. I know he's getting more into indie books now that he's an indie author, but he also at one point said that he was very careful about the books that he accepted for review because he knows that if a book gets 20,000 views instead of 100,000 views, that affects his bottom line, and this is his job. This leaves most writers at the mercy of smaller reviewers or hobby reviewers. Usually with these reviewers, you aren't going to get enough people to buy from them to treat it like a job or their own small business. These are people who review books for fun, and they often have other things to do to pay the bills. Everybody likes to keep a roof over their head and food in their mouths. So they review at their own pace and fit things in where they can. They can't pay their rent with an ARC of your book, therefore this is not their job. So why send ARCs to these reviewers in the first place? Because if you send out a bunch of ARCs and the reviewers enjoy your books, then they review it and hype it, and the hype starts to spread. It's part of a plan that will probably involve you giving away books or putting your ebooks on sale for 99 cents for a very long time until you have developed an audience who is very willing to pay you for your next piece of work. This is why you see series like the Cradle series by Will Wright go on sale on Kindle over and over again. The author is trying to build an audience. You can use services like NetGalley to send out ARCs, but it also costs you $0 to just email somebody a PDF of your book. If you get big enough to support a side hustle writing books, awesome. If it gets big enough for you to write full-time or to take a job just for the health insurance, great. But as a writer, especially indie writers, you're a small business owner and you take on all the risk and all of the reward for how your books do. If you don't pay someone real money to review and market your books for you, then don't be a choosy beggar when they decide to treat your book like it's not their job.